Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the greatest show on earth, truly, the one and only, the only place you can hear four hetero males talk about movies on the internet, Flyover State of Film. I'm here with my boys, guys, TJ, Joe, Yusef, what is up? Everybody, crack them if you got them. Oh, let the world know.
Oh, that hurt my ear. Hey, let's give a big congratulations to Joe and Laura on their motherfucking wedding.
Are we still talking about this?
Thank you,
At least
TJ.
a little bit of a shout out.
Someone cares.
With his marriage, officially all the eligible bachelors of our podcast are married.
That's right. That's
Wait,
right.
wait.
I said what I said, TJ. I said what I said.
What does that make? So what am I?
I said what I said, TJ. I said what I said.
Okay, that's fine. Fair.
Thank you for
Truthful but
all
hurtful.
the kind wishes. All the flybers. Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
Yep.
Clink. So,
What's in the news?
yeah, I was gonna say, usually, it's been nice kind of to be able to skip news, but there is a little bit of news, so let's talk about it. First thing, so they announced that the Snyder Cut needs $70 million to finish before it. That's the budget. So it sounds like a movie that was ready, right? I mean, it sounds like all those fanboys who peed their pants and cried for 2 years that it was finished, that all they had to do was release it. Sounds like a ready, finished movie. It needs $70 million worth of work, right?
Yeah, I have a question. So you're telling me this movie that came out, now we have people saying that after it came out, it was finished, right? There's 2 copies.
Right.
I'm
basically, the argument for the last couple of years is like, it's ready to go. He had a finished cut.
I've seen
it
the
just come
cut.
out at any time.
I have a
They're holding it back.
Yeah. So you're telling me, so this movie was ready. It needs $72 million to finish. You know what? Release the Snyder Cut. Release it. Let's do it. Let's go.
On top of
How
that,
expensive it's gonna be this overall?
This will be a movie now that is made 3 times. They'll never make their money back on this movie.
No.
This movie will never be
Remember-
profitable, no matter what.
well, I'm gonna steal it first. But do you remember? Like how much the Joss Whedon new cut was? Like they're like, we spent $200 million on Zack Snyder's, and then another $100 million to fix.
It was
Zack
like
Snyder.
the same. It was like the same year they did that with Han Solo, or with Solo too. They made the movie twice. Like these movies,
Yeah.
they were like, they got 3/4 of the way done, and they were like, you know what? Let's start over. And
I think the funniest part about this is like Henry Cavill being like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do any reshoots."
Talk about a guy who got fucked. Yeah.
And he definitely there's definitely spots in it. You know what? All you little fuckheads who think like, "Oh, BVS is great," and this thing should have stayed dead. It should have been a Hollywood mystery. Yeah. You know, it should be how we talk about. It should be like how we talk about the Spider-Man 4 that Raimi was gonna make, or
Batman 2 that Burton was gonna make.
Yeah,
right,
Batman 3. I'm sorry,
like Burton's Batman 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
Isn't there I've been away from the internet? Maybe it already has happened, but isn't there a controversy with Cyborg as well? And
Right,
Warner
the Ray
Brothers?
Fisher thing. He's basically saying he was like mistreated on the set. Joss Whedon and I don't know, some other people have been named. I don't know enough about it because like I've tailored my feed to not see a lot of DC stuff because those people are so toxic. They're like,
I have a
yeah,
question.
you can't disagree. You can't have your own opinion. So I just like don't. It doesn't come into my sphere very often. But like, yes, tacitly, there's definitely something going on. I can't speak to the validity of it or where it is, but I have to imagine it's having a weird effect on trying to get this new movie made, right?
Well, I'm saying this movie's supposed to come out in 2021, right? Correct?
Yeah. Well, isn't it a series now?
Is that a
Zoomies? It was already done.
It's a 4-part, miniseries,
like CGI, like additions. So 72 million is basically another film.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a mid-level film.
So no, again, let's
HBO
just
Max could put
let's
out like
end this now. There was no Snyder fucking cut.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? It's super expensive. It cost $70 million to move a file from finished folder to HBO Max. You don't know shit about computers, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
All that money is just to pay for the new. I love that it's funny. I was like, oh, it's all that money is just to pay for the new promotion, but no. In all actuality, they're also gonna pay $70 million on top of what they're putting into the movie to promote it on HBO Max and like do HBO Max ads that you see on the internet.
It's probably gonna be. It's probably gonna be $500 million, right? Or more.
Easily. All said and done.
Easily.
Once it comes out.
The first go around was $500 million. But the HBO Max,
it's already like got to be a damn near $500 million movie already.
It could take that 72 million and make like 3 American pickles for their platform.
Okay, now what happens?
I did not hear anything about it.
It was fine. That was fine.
I think that was it. It was like, just like, okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, like on. I was like,
if this movie doesn't hit in 2021 because of whatever budget issues there are, it's if I just saw like the majority of the Snyder Cut people come out and just go like, all right, there wasn't a Snyder Cut, but like let's get him the money to finish it. The whole thing is like y'all believe it's like JFK, like the whole like conspiracy theory. You're just like, there was a Snyder Cut. There is a Snyder Cut. Like, there isn't. He needed the money to finish the goddamn Snyder Cut. Admit it. Just admit it. And you know what? Flyover State of Film will back off at that point. It'll be like,
well, no. You know what? I'm going to join Vero.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that. I mean, maybe that's the social media app that I should go to because I bet there's nobody there.
You'd be befriended by a tumbleweed over on Vero.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? You know what?
This podcast is actually a coup tonight to live stream and commentary the debate.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Nope.
No, I'm not gonna do that, Joe. I don't want to see two grandpas.
What? Yeah, we only want to see one grandpa.
Maybe a push-up maybe they have a push-up contest.
We have a YouTube live feed.
The corner.
Currently on the screen, there's 2 tape measures out, and they're going to take a Viagra and see who's bigger.
There's a podcast that was recorded the night of the Trump-Hillary election that will never get released that I was on.
Oh, no.
It's real bad. It's real bad out there, guys.
It's almost as bad.
You know what else is real bad? Tenet's box office numbers.
Oh man, look at this guy.
My
thing wasn't even so much that Tenet flopped, which it kind of did. What's going to barely make its money back worldwide.
Christopher Nolan sucks.
They also tried to release Mulan, and that didn't do well either. So my whole thing was like, there's no good options for blockbusters right now. You notice right after Mulan, all the Marvel movies got pushed back again. Everything got a new release date again. Like, nope, they ain't doing that again. They ain't releasing. That was their dip their toe in the water. It didn't fly. You won't be seeing any of those big movies come out. Now I know they're releasing like Antebellum and some other ones, and like it's fine to get the pop or whatever, but I just want to see those big tent poles.
I blame Disney for Mulan's failure by being like, hey, it's $30 plus our subscription, like it's a UFC fucking fight on ESPN Plus.
It's a free Saturday.
So somehow the news came out that it would be free in like December. So I was like, okay,
wait 3 more months and you could have it in November, I even think. Not even.
Hey, Brian,
It's almost like there's a pandemic and people are unemployed and they're measuring how much money they spend on useless entertainment.
And if I want to go,
like
and if I want to go like quote unquote like health risk replace, maybe I'll like go to a restaurant, enjoy like others' companies.
Right. If you're going to spend that money and risk your life, you maybe would do it in a different way.
Yeah.
I did a drive-in from very far away, just like Christopher Nolan envisioned his movie to be played. It was awesome.
That was a good joke that Jenny Nicholson made, but I also thought when I saw your picture,
somebody already made it. Sorry,
that it looked like
Nichols.
It looked like somebody was. I was like, that would be like watching a movie. You go to see Tenet in the drive-in. It's like putting it on your phone, but then also holding your phone like way out in front of your face and to the left, like not even looking at it straight on, like way out in the.
Well, think about the goddamn movies that come out. So you're telling me you want to spend money? Okay, I understand the Christopher Nolan like effect. Like that's. If Denny V comes out with the next movie, Dune, it looks like garbage, but I'll see because Denny V. All right.
In a normal year, I would have seen Tenet probably.
Sure,
I would have seen Tenet opening weekend.
But then Disney goes, you know what? Let's push back our Black Widow. You're like, nobody wants to fucking see that goddamn movie.
Release it like got a movie 10 years ago.
Nobody gives a fuck.
I'll tell you what, I actually think this is the best thing to happen to the MCU. Like, by the time they can actually do release Black Widow, people will be excited.
Because there's nothing else.
No, they won't. Because it's an awful fucking movie with a...
I think you are misreading the situation on that one, buddy.
I think we're burying the lead.
That's just not going to be good.
We're getting a new Bond film still in the theater.
Doesn't matter if it's going to be good. People are going to go see it.
Oh, just like the Lion King movie.
We're getting No Time to Die.
Don't jump the segue.
Wait, who's segue?
Yusuf did it. Yusuf tried to jump the news.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, we're getting No Time to Die in the theater too. Like that's
what is that? November? That's still coming out in November.
That's gonna do worse than Tenet.
Yeah, I think that will do worse than Tenet. I agree.
Which one?
The new Bond.
Last Bond. Craig is Bond.
What is it? Not enough time to die.
You already cast a new Bond, right? It's Tom Hardy.
I don't know if that was a rumor or not about Tom Hardy.
That's a franchise that needs at least like a 4 to 5 year break.
You know what sucks? That guy who's been rumored as Hawkman for the DC series, who's an Invisible Man, the cop,
right? Yeah,
he would have been a fucking amazing Bond, if you ask me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you wanted shit like that.
I think, honestly, I think any tall, good-looking man can be a good Bond. Like, I don't know why everybody's like, who's going to be the next Bond? Who gives a shit? A tall guy in a suit? Probably, if I had to guess. Like, every fucking Bond is a super tall, handsome guy. Great.
He's a tall, handsome guy in a suit that you're like, I'll have a beer with, and, like, you could fuck my wife. That's, like, all you kind of want to
see an American take on the English fucking act, like the English icon of Bond. I want to see an American actor do it instead of a fucking English actor always doing it. Because was Brosnan American or is he
Scottish?
He's English.
Fuck him.
Irish.
There's
he's Irish.
And Connery is famously Scottish.
If Batman can be Scottish or English or whatever, let's get fucking Bond to be American.
There's been I think there's a Welshman in there too. Somewhere? Somebody's Welsh.
There's an Australian, George Lazenby. Guys, remember early quarantine when I watched all the Bonds and became a Bond
I do remember that. Wow, that was so long ago.
That feels so long ago.
It feels like 10 years ago.
Oh, all right. Well, speaking of a segue, here's one. They just announced that Barry Jenkins is going to direct Lion King 2. And my question was, can we think of a bigger waste of his fucking time?
Yes.
This was a new.
You can think something worse?
Aladdin 2.
No, I think that's a lateral move. That's the same.
Oh, I got you. A voiceover role, a cameo voiceover role in Trolls: The Next Step, which is definitely going to be like, what's that? Trolls 3?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That would be Barry. That would be the biggest waste of his time. Like a Martin Scorsese Shark Tale type cameo.
Again, these are all on par because I think like, you know, you just bottom
Jenkins.
out and then everything is on the same level, which is the very bottom.
Nope. I got it. Barry Jenkins directing a Teddy Ruxpin live action movie. For y'all to know who Teddy Ruxpin is a bear that you put tape in the back of him and he reads you a
Not
story.
Bear Week, hashtag.
That's what that's what Child's Play should have. The new Child's Play should have been. They should have just tweaked it and had it be a Teddy Ruxpin, and then it also would have been like a horror play on Ted. So you'd have twofer.
Ooh.
Ted, I forgot about Ted.
We don't speak ill.
That's good.
We got anything else?
An Austin Powers reboot. Oh, I got you. Barry Jenkins doing a Foxy Cleopatra spinoff almost 20 years after Goldmember.
Why Foxy Cleopatra?
Because he's black and they only want black people.
God damn it, Joe.
I mean, he's done 2 powerful black-centered stories that highlight struggle and homosexuality and drug abuse. Yeah. Why not Foxy? You know, that's a clear move to the next.
And then I thought you were going to say, why not the Mufasa backstory we were all wondering about? Yeah. Are they going to explain how he's also what's her name? Him's dad too, like, and that Simba and Nala or whatever are banging brothers and sisters. They gonna talk about that? That's the way it works.
I saw a funny tweet before we jumped on. That was like breaking. What's his face? Jon Favreau directing Widows 2 or something like that, like another Barry Jenkins movie.
No, that's
Moonlight 2.
Like a backwards, like the reverse of what's happening now. Like some like Brett Ratner signed on to direct.
God damn it! No.
Speaking of,
all right, I think is that enough news? Can we move on?
Yes.
Speaking of a guy you want at your wedding.
Oh, Brett Ratner, he'd pull his dick out at your wedding. You know he would.
Steve McQueen.
He would give an inappropriate best man speech, but if you have Brett Ratner as your best man, you deserve it.
Yeah. He's just a good guy, guys. Like, you just gotta spend time with him.
Yeah, he's joking around, but he's got a good heart, man. Except when he's drunk.
I gotta switch my headphones. But no, having
air here. Am I supposed to do more?
Yeah, my headphones are dying, so keep talking.
Terrible.
All right, cut around here, TJ.
So, remember that segue that Joe made about weddings?
No, I had a great segue. So no, I'm back. We're back. So
you were thinking about Steve McQueen too. You know, I know he's black, and they all look the same, but
the guy from The Great Escape is black.
Wait, Steve McQueen's black.
Steve McQueen is the director of Widows.
Oh,
yes, we said Widows.
You can't have the same name. That's not fair.
How dare he use a white person's name?
How dare you take a famous dead white person's name? That's reverse racism, you guys. A thing that definitely exists.
Yeah, for sure.
Joe, you there?
I'm just waiting for Joe to his start.
So,
Joe starts, then this is where you'll cut in, right?
Yeah. So we good? Oh, cool. All right. So, I recently got married.
Way to ruin the cut too. It's like this was seamlessly. We're good, right? We're gonna start.
All right. So I did want my topic this week to be pretty relevant. Although one time I couldn't think of a topic, and Brian said, "We can't just pick shit you did this weekend to be the topic." And I'm like, "That's fair," but this seems big enough where I could pick a little too.
If somebody complains about the topic, it's usually me. I bet that doesn't come as a surprise to anybody who's ever watched this show.
So I guess what's your favorite like movie revolving around weddings, and then what's your favorite wedding type moment in a movie?
Hey Joe, why are we doing this topic, by the way?
Oh, I don't know, just because I did a whole like wedding binge, and I'm just kidding because I got married on Friday. And
hey, this guy over here.
His dick has been cut off. Get him.
Ball and chain. My
wife.
Shopping.
The
first thing I said while walking out was, "My wife."
That's so good. I love that there's now no defining line between like people who actually do Borat impression and ironically doing the Borat impression because it's all the same now.
literally we walked down like it was only a 10% away. We walked around and the photographer is right there. And we look at each other. It was like, "You're my husband," and I go, "You're my wife," and she's like, "Really?" It's like I was like, "I've been planning this for so long." Anyway.
Literally, the moment I proposed, I was like, I can't
But else
wait.
get married unless you can't say my wife. You're waiting for the cable guy to come home. We'll have to wait for my wife.
Are you done?
All right.
No, you can do it all day. I don't mind it.
Drink every time you hear my wife.
I'll drink to that.
Damn it. Yeah, cheers.
So, Joe, did you have something in mind that you wanted to start with? Was there something you said? Did you actually binge on wedding movies before your wedding, or is that just a...
No, that was just a joke.
Clever
joke.
I
do have a question. Like TJ, start off like, what's your favorite? I would say like wedding movies revolving around and like marriage wedding moment.
Man, I've been around you and Laura long enough to see you guys. It's real, you know.
Love. Right, paused for too long, man. I was like, "What? Where is this going?"
You know what I mean? It's real.
TJ in the corner.
So after seeing you guys together, there's no movie I could pick more that makes more sense than other than Ready or Not. No, okay, wrong.
I love that.
My favorite wedding movie, hands down, because I think it actually is real love, is The Wedding Singer. It is the best Adam Sandler movie. Probably the best rom-com I've seen ever-ish.
13 going on 30.
Okay, well, God damn it. This is your turn, all right?
We're not starting. That's not the debate here, guys. Let's not. Don't go down that road. Save it for another day.
I don't know, something about like the soundtrack to it, the it being placed in the 80s and stuff like that. I think Sandler's at his best. Barrymore and him, this is like really where it started to really start doing these like rom-coms for a couple years after this. They did 50 First Dates, stuff like that. Which one of you guys said that movie is shot awful? I think it was Brian.
Oh, I said recently that 50 First Dates might be the ugliest looking movie I've ever seen. Not movie wise. It's a fun movie.
You can't argue the chemistry though. The chemistry between Barrymore and Sandler is something that, like, if we were talking about like a couple getting married outside of a wedding and it was like Sandler and Barrymore, makes sense. But man, this movie, I don't know. Love sucks.
One of the last ones that he shows restraint as well. Like, it's not of like over the top comedy that you go like, okay, I get it. Like 50 First Dates, we have a bunch of jokes like that, and then now all the Netflix are just.
I can't believe you didn't pick Chuck and Larry. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
No,
timeless, sensitive portrayal of the gay experience.
TJ, I actually I have something funny to say about The Wedding Singer. That was like on my list too, but I have another one. One of our best friends, her husband, they did like movie like quotes as their vows or partly, and they picked that ending. I want to grow old with you quote as their wedding as his quote to her.
I married. I know your brother married you and your wife. Congratulations again.
Gross. What a creep. You guys are like a throuple now, or what?
Yeah, I married my cousin and his wife, and I used the quote of...
Jesus, what the fuck kind of podcast am I on?
I used the quote of like Robin Williams talking to like Matt Damon about how like cherish the small things, about like farting in the sleep next to each other and you wake each other up, so like that. I mean, marriage is a beautiful thing.
Definitely don't ever marry anybody you don't fart in front of. You got to get that out of the way real quick.
A better wedding movie from Adam Sandler is That's My Boy.
The thing is, nobody ever saw
what you got, baby?
Nobody saw that movie.
Youssef, what you got, baby?
I have a few, but if we're talking movie, I picked Father of the Bride, Steve Martin. Short. It's super. I think it's a triple header, and like in the sense that it's a beautiful father and daughter story. It's also a great marriage between Steve Martin and his wife. And also the comedy comes directly from planning the wedding. The wedding planners are fucking hilarious. The chaos that actually is the wedding, and you have that great moment in the end when Steve Martin just running around the entire fucking house trying to get to his daughter before she leaves him forever in his eyes.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Is Martin Short's character too much of a stereotype? Would he pass muster?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah,
100%.
For sure.
100%.
He's not as bad as.
Is he offensive or is he legitimately fun?
He's Martin Short. I don't think he's as like offensive.
No, he's not offensive. He's not offensive.
Let's say it's not like Bronson Pinchot.
Okay, fair enough.
He's just very flamboyant, but it's also very stereotypical. But I believe I'm speaking out of turn, but his partner, the actor, is homosexual, so at least they cast it.
I have a question.
One gay person as a gay person. Good for them.
I have a question.
That's representation, baby, in the 90s.
And he's Asian.
We count that.
Oh, you're right. I got a question as the only single guy. I'm not married, obviously, we have 3 married men now.
Men is a large word.
Yeah. Your father-in-law. Everybody has a great relationship with him?
My wife didn't have a relationship with her dad, so I'm off the hook.
Yeah, we have
that.
I'm fine with him.
Okay. All right. So
I think you have 3 levels.
Dealt with like
no relationship, fine, and good relationship right now.
So like no one had to deal with like having to deal like the Steve Martin type of character, like dad and like father-in-law type of thing, going into this. Like it was just smooth.
I think that could bring us into like something like Meet the Parents is a great movie. I guess you can consider a wedding movie.
I think the first one is solid. I mean, it's one of those ones that didn't need to be a franchise, but
Meet the Fuckers is pretty tight.
The Meet the Fuckers it's fun.
I think it throws you off because it's well cast and you think it's okay, but it's actually quite bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have 3 honorable mentions, but I'll wait for you guys to actually say yours in case I'm.
So yeah, Brian, what's yours?
Oh, I can. Okay, I didn't pick actual wedding movies. I went more with movies that have some of my favorite wedding scenes.
Sure. Yeah.
So first one was actually something I just revisited with my wife. We hadn't. My wife. Take a drink, everybody.
I have water. I need to pace myself.
It's so good. But I hadn't seen them in well over a decade at least. I rewatched The Godfathers, and The Godfather original starts off with a glorious wedding scene. Talia Shire is beautiful as Connie, and she's so good. It's just such a great opening, and the way it like you get so much from the wedding scene. Not just from what you're seeing what's going on with Don Corleone and the guys, people coming to see him and asking for things, but the way everyone interacts, the kind of. I mean, it's so good they kind of mock it in Goodfellas too. They do the same type of thing. It's like a good way for you to get an idea of how close knit everyone is, but also kind of the power structure, and you can meet all the characters. And
what about the bag of the money? He's like, don't worry about it.
Nobody's gonna touch that. Don't worry about that.
They're just handing wads of envelopes over as the gifts.
You get to see, Sonny smash the guy's camera out in the parking lot, so you get, you learn about everybody. It's just a really great opening.
Yeah, it set up a very unrealistic expectations because all my wads of money were very small.
None of my envelopes were thick enough. They all closed easily,
I think it's really funny.
The Godfather movies suck, by the way.
Oh God, this guy!
All right,
oh yeah, and you wonder why I said that there's no eligible bachelors left on this fucking show.
Damn! Just insert the name of a beloved classic here. Oh, it sucks. Oh, great insight, buddy. Thanks.
Where's the superheroes?
Brian picking The Godfather. This is just thrown out there. Just reminds me of another movie that has nothing to do with weddings. But the 20-minute wedding intro to The Deer Hunter I've
never seen Hunter
as an adult.
Oh, so The Deer Hunter, and like my dad always says, like, oh, that's a really accurate representation of Polish weddings, because The Deer Hunter is just like maybe not be 20 minutes, but it's just like a long of like, hey, these drunk Polacks are partying till the morning because that's what like Pennsylvanian Polacks did or something. I don't fucking know. So it's it's wasted if you've never seen it. But the movie is
that's great. That's good to know. So anyway, my other movie that I wanted to mention that has a very memorable wedding scene that I love is Beetlejuice. You know, when they kind of like the possession, the forced wedding of Adam and Gina Davis's character, whose name escapes me at the moment. But anyway, it's so great. It's kind of like weird and scary, and there's like tension, and then you've got like the actual wedding of Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder. But I love the the whole thing of her in the white wedding dress and like decaying and falling apart. It's just there's just a really great imagery there and stuff.
He throws a fastball at her or at
puts the medal over her. Yeah,
that's definitely the most inspired pick.
Oh, I mean, let's keep going. We're gonna do everyone's
you got some
picks.
Oh yeah. My pick actually was The Wedding Singer when I wrote it down, but I think my true pick is actually my best moment too. It's not so much about the wedding itself; it's just the movie, and it's I Love You, Man.
My guy.
I think when I was looking at the list of like wedding movies and thinking of like blah 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 and like comedy and the most of like rom-coms or comedies, like yeah, you go with Wedding Crashers, but that's just like I don't know, it's fun, you know. No, I did it. I'm saying that's like
Wedding Crashers fucking sucks.
I think that's one that could.
Yeah, I mean it's worse than The Godfather.
But I Love You, Man to me is one of a modern comedy classic.
Yes,
that really revolves around the friendship, but I think the relationship of Paul Rudd and his wife or his fiance in that is really good too. Like they have a fun time, and it's a fun movie. I mean, there's so many. I think there's a lot of honorable mentions of wedding movies.
I have a couple.
It's weird. I think there's more so honorable mentions of wedding movies than one I'm like I absolutely love. It reminds me of like a full on like wedding experience, like because they're all like based around shitty like kind of like romance dramas. To be honest with you.
Yeah, like my best friend's wedding. That movie sucks. I always thought, I was like, man, Julia Roberts seems like a real bitch.
Yeah.
Or one I think's like fun honorable mention, but it's a terrible comedy, but it's really fun. Is like Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates was an underrated comedy that came out, I think.
Oh, my honorable mention is Wedding Crashers.
It's a good movie. I don't agree.
I love the montage. The opening montage is fun.
All right, what do you guys think of The Parent Trap?
What?
The old one? Which one? The Haley Mills? Am I the only Haley Mills fan in the house?
Yeah, you're old enough for that shit.
If you go all the way back to our bracket, our Ghostbusters bracket,
Twin, we all remember.
The duo
hands. We can go back to other movie, American Y, and American Wedding has a great wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, me. I think I'll throw it out right now. American Wedding is awesome.
I also have The Graduate / Wayne's World as one of the wedding moments that I enjoy.
Well, I mean, The Graduate, and then subsequently everything that parodied The Graduate. Cassandra.
Because I don't know, that movie also set up expectations every time I go to a wedding.
Ooh, I have a nice throw in
somebody has said something to stop this wedding. I always go like, is there a Dustin Hoffman here today?
Nice.
Is some shit gonna go down? It never happens.
Nice Halloween horror wedding. Adam Sandler values.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now we're on it.
Wedding. Yeah. The wedding gift. Where he's just like, what is it? What is in the box? It's the bomb. Taken down, blow the fuck up in.
I think my favorite. I think thinking again and based on it, we've already talked about it. I actually think my low key favorite pick of this is Yusuf taking Father of the Bride. I forgot. I know that movie's just delightful.
Yeah,
it's a fastball right down the middle.
Anyway,
and the Father of the Bride 2 is not that bad. It's kind of a cool premise of both of them being pregnant, but the first one is the best one.
No, that leads us right into the next topic.
I thought you were going to intro the topic.
Yeah.
So,
what happened? You're like, okay, well, there it goes. We're there.
I was thinking
thinking weird pauses today, man.
I thought we were gonna wait for Brian. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So going to this next topic, I was thinking about. Everyone's like going crazy right now about horror films and like genre. Like you have slashers, you have like possession movies, you have
funny horror.
You have like monster movies. You have these weird subgenres of horror. But now everyone's like artsy horror or like horror that's like not horror, but I don't fucking know. But I was just asking these guys, unconventional horror. A movie that is not horror at all, but regardless of like what age you were when you saw it, it scared the hell out of you. I'm only asking you guys this because the other night I watched a movie, and ever since then I've been hearing like Elvis like impersonations and like getting these weird like sexual dreams, but they're not sexual.
What the fuck is happening?
Look who's talking to.
Look who's
is
talking
a fucking
to.
horror movie. A horror movie.
Is that the one with Roseanne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That
The
movie
first
is
10 minutes of this movie you spend listening to Kirstie Alley and John Travolta voiced sperm or an egg going through the whole like sexual thing and then dying because of diaphragm. All the sperm die except for one. Horror movie. Then you get like
fuck.
Yeah, then you get what's his name? God damn it, I can't.
The house burning, the apartment burning down with the kids inside it at the end.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you get all that, but you also have
He's not concerned about that, you guys.
No, that's not the issue here.
Yeah, Mel Brooks playing a monster toilet because the kid won't take a pee or poop in the toilet unless he's like.
I do remember the pee-pee in the potty dance though.
Thank you.
In the potty.
Yeah. You get Gilbert Gottfried running a baby gym and a fucking like baby nursery thing, which is also scary in itself. Just this whole.
Gottfried was in Problem Child too, right? What was with him in movies with little kids?
He has a funny voice.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Iago
thing. It's just this horror movie that wasn't
comic.
Kirstie Alley is.
He got booed.
He got
booed off of. Gilbert Gottfried got booed off of my dad's. They have like he's part of like a community like I would say like fraternity like charity type thing, and
like
they
the
do
JCs.
He's a JC, yeah. And they do a beefsteak every year, and they have like kind of famous comics come. And the time Gilbert Gottfried come, he was so dirty, and no one knew that. And you know they're all your typical like middle class, like mostly Republican,
right?
Basically,
red boomers.
Because he talked about like kiddie porn and like other things that were very like I get like not the crowd to be like this is not the time.
I'd love to hear the set though.
Oh, I have no comment on it because every time my dad's ever said it, I've been like, yeah, that sounds terrible. I'm probably like, oh, you guys are probably just like had no fucking.
But shit was funny as hell.
It's like Look Who's Talking is a very nice.
Not to shut you off, but what he mentioned.
Yeah, no. Look Who's Talking is like a really nice like baby film Disney type of movie. Look Who's Talking now is like a fun like homeward bound dogs talking at this point. This one's a fucking horror movie, man. Roseanne as a young baby girl, and you got Bruce Willis who's still voicing the voice of the son. Mm-hmm. And you also have that entire scene where it's like the kid's scared to sleep by himself, so they have like the horror scene where like his toys are all coming alive with red eyes. This movie fucking. It's also weird because
like they're still doing the babies talk inside their head thing, but like the little kid's getting old enough to talk in real life. Like
so
how does that work?
They cut in and out those scenes where he's talking, and then it's actual Bruce Willis. You're like, and he's going like this.
So
and Bruce Willis is like, "Hey, I'm a baby. Give me some milky." And you're like, "You're two. You don't do the milk thing anymore." Horror movie. Joe, what you got?
I went a little very different. I looked at the question so much different than you, but I know you're. It's actually one scene in a very like good coming of age film, and that was in 8th grade. Bo Burnham's 8th grade movie. The scene. Okay. Well, I really just think of this one scene because like I said, I interpreted your question a little different. There's a scene because it's a fun coming of age movie. I mean, it's not, but there's a scene.
It's whatever scares you.
Yeah, there was just a scene
scared
where
too, but think about like cringe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
there was
something that
scene
feels more real because you might never
acting.
get into a horror movie situation, but in your real life, you might feel so uncomfortable you want to die.
There was a scene where there's an older, like she's in 8th grade. There's like a freshman or sophomore. He's just like flirting with her, or whatever. He seems a nice guy, and then they like drive around, and he doesn't actually do anything sexual, but he like
I remember.
He like implies everything. It's a very like tense scene. The girl just kind of like
it also could be seen as like some grooming. Like he didn't do anything this time, but maybe he'll come back, and maybe you know what I mean. Like maybe this was just their first time hanging out.
That was like honestly in any movie that's not a horror movie, that's the scariest scene I've ever seen in a movie.
I feel like if you ever feel that feeling, you probably felt that moment. It's like they're not horror, but it's like one of those like cringe-worthy, like Brian was saying, like you just uncomfortable. Like that's how that like kills you. Like
it's not the fun pick, but it definitely was what I thought when you said the question. Because I can't even remember as a kid what or like something like Look Who's Talking About. Like this is a horror movie. Like for me, like something like Drop Dead Fred is a horror movie.
Yep.
It is horrific to like just to be forced to watch it.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Or Pauly Shore's in the army now, but like that's just because
like those type of movies are like I think those like the real life situations that make you feel the most uncomfortable because they're so real are essentially like you said, it's unconventional horror because you're uncomfortable, you're not feeling in the right like state of mind.
Do you want me to add Look Who's Talking to the horror options?
Oh, I
would love that film franchise.
Speaking of horror, guys, can I just show you what I got in the mail? The Trick or Treat comic.
Nice.
Oh,
that's awesome.
It's just right next to
it. That's a comic?
Yeah, there was a 10th anniversary. I want to read it. There's a 10th anniversary comic.
Ooh, I like that.
Hard copy.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Brian, horror movie.
What?
So Brian, I'll skip. I don't want mine.
Me.
Yeah. I was thinking about like I do think we've touched on this topic slightly sometime before.
I haven't touched anything.
So I really like wanted to dig deep and try to remember what, as a really small child, what was the first time I could remember being scared watching a movie? And I was like, what was it? And I remembered sitting on, we had this old, like, god awful 70s pattern couch with and the arms didn't have padding on. They were like just wooden arms on the side of the couch. Heinous. And I remember sitting there watching, all curled up in a blanket, face covered up, terrified. And every year around Christmas time on the network television, they would play The Wizard of Oz. And I remember legitimately being freaked the fuck out. Specifically the part where they're just about done, they're just coming out of the forest, but they're going through the creepy part, and then the witch comes in and she throws out a little fire, Scarecrow.
And that scared me.
And then they go off, and after that it's like the poppy fields and shit. But that one, I was like, I gotta dig deep. What's something that really got me to my core when I was little? And I was like, hell yeah, I was probably like 3 or 4, and I remember being freaked out.
I just remembered the one that fits more accurate to this question. Because we said the Wizard of Oz. No, Snow White.
Oh, okay.
The witch.
The witch is scary in Snow White, for sure.
We had the clamshell VHS, which we still have, and I remember even looking at the cover, being like, she's in the corner, as that, and like, oh, stay away. Sorry, you just reminded me of that time because I loved The Wizard of Oz as a kid.
Good. I like that though. I like you had that sense memory of I like the way that came up naturally.
It's like the whole thing with is that the same time where they get the trees with the apples? Where she picks up the apple and she's like, oh, she goes to eat it, and then she slaps her. The tree.
Yeah,
it's creepy in that movie.
Yeah,
the trees are
terrifying looking, right? The faces of the trees are super scary. Yeah.
I mean, Ernest Scared Stupid scared me a little bit too as a kid, not gonna lie.
No, I'm out of here with that. Now, this I did think of one other thing, and it's weird because it's not necessarily a horror movie, but it is a movie that's like got to do with like dark. It's dark and it's like tense, and it's like a crime movie, but the part in it is not necessarily a scary moment, but it is. It's Zodiac. When Robert Graysmith goes to the guy and they're in the basement and they're looking for the poster, and he doesn't know if there's somebody creeping around upstairs. It's
terrifying.
like it's weird in a movie. I guess it's just that might be the scariest moment in a movie that is like about a horrific real life murder. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It's not that the movie's not scary. It's just that the scariest moment comes from a strange place.
Also,
for me.
let me give this out before Brian does. I'm pretty sure he said these aren't out anymore, but the last DVD bunker I did with Brian was Zodiac. So
that was a good bunker.
I fucking love that goddamn movie. All right, Yusef,
That's
shut up.
movie of the 2010s. So
easily.
Congratulations on liking a good movie, TJ. Good for you.
Finally, we got there, guys.
Yusef's been quiet and just comes in with
Bruce.
So it looks like all of us read the question differently. I like it. I look for something that scares me personally. And I have two fears, and there's two different movies that I picked. First one is I'm legit scared to be a parent, and we need to talk about Kevin. Is one of the most horrible movies I've ever seen in my life. Sure. The way that the kid just despises his mother, and no matter what she does, he's just a fucking asshole, and he's just rotten to the core. And like every time I see a true crime podcast or whatever the case may be, I always think like, oh, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter that killed 20 people.
Yeah, and truly, it seems like it seems like there's no winning formula. Like there are kids who grow up affluent, whose parents love them, who still turn out to be monsters, and there are kids who are abused and have horrific childhoods who grow up to be loving people with good, stable jobs. You know what I mean? It's like you can't predict it either. You know, it's that's the most scary thing. There's not like you can try, you can do your best or whatever, but you don't know what you're gonna fuck up. Like
if I didn't try to like be funny with like the pick, I feel like Elephant, which, I mean, you guys can all look it up. You know what it's about. That's like one of those movies where like just hits you to the core. You know what it's about. Same thing with like this movie we're talking about now. It's like, it's so real that it is horror, but they just put you under drama. It's like a drama.
Yeah, no, it's, and their relationship, man, especially how Tilda like reacts and acts in that movie. I was just tense the entire fucking movie and so uncomfortable. It was a horror movie for me.
100%. Yeah.
Those type movies. And the other one is this is not an active fear, and being a parent is not an active fear. But when I was watching the movie, it was like, oh fuck, this really got to me. Was Gone Girl, and how the media and everybody around him was blaming him for something that he didn't do. And like every single person just zeroed in on him, and everything that he did and didn't do just was like under a microscope. That
reminds you of the like Amanda Knox thing, where it's like, you know, people hyper focus on micro little details, and they don't take into account like that everyone's different and processes grief differently, and just like
that movie for me was fucking horrific. And I was super tense because they let you know spoiler alert, they let you know pretty early on that she's alive and she's fucking with him. So you're technically, even though Ben Affleck is an asshole, you're on his side because he's an asshole, but he's not a murderer. So.
Yeah. Well, I always say that my biggest fear, like when I find like some horror movies, I'm like, wow, it's so scary. Like, is everyone's in on the joke except for you, and that's one of those movies. Like I always say, this has nothing to do with this topic, but I've always said before, like Rosemary's Baby is one of the scariest movies I think of all time. But it's not because of its concept; it's because everyone's in on the joke.
Except it's because she's so isolated. And she doesn't even know it, and everywhere she turns, she has no, nothing. There's nothing in her, like no lifeline.
Her partner is like the ringleader of the joke, and that's not what we're talking about tonight. But like that's Gone Girl.
Sucked.
And I actually Gone Girl's a movie. I think we've talked about it on this podcast before. I've defended it for years as an ending. I said it's that the movie wasn't to tell you that ending of a revenge story. It's they both get what they deserve. The whole extra thing is a separate, and that's a different conversation.
But none of these movies are gonna be discussed on our horror extravaganza episode. And this time around, I'm gonna be the host. If you haven't seen our horror episodes, we like to divvy up horror franchises. Every co-host gets a franchise, and they watch every single fucking movie. And we do kind of a summary of the movies, and we talk about them as a group. In the past, we've done Scream, The Exorcist, Critters, Hellraiser, Nightmare, Romero's fucking hell. Night of the Living Dead.
Living Dead, yeah. Halloween.
Texas Chainsaw, and Halloween. Those have been knocked off the list. This time around, I wanted to do something fun-ish and do a horror trivia. And whoever wins the horror trivia will pick from the following categories. Each category has 3 movies in them. And the person who chooses that category will pick between those 3, and that category is eliminated for the following 2 people. Well, 3 because I'm included in it.
Love this.
So we have slasher, action horror, reptile horror, supernatural, and funny horror. We have 9 questions. Say your name out loud, like we've done in the past.
After the question's fully been asked?
After the question has been fully asked.
Thank you.
If you miss, the other guys have a chance to steal. Are you guys ready? It's very simple questions.
Yeah.
All horror-based.
I just want to say I pride myself on being a horror fanatic. Let's go.
Okay. But you suck at trivia, though. Let's go. According to Wikipedia and my limited Google search, what is the highest grossing horror movie not adjusting for inflation?
Joe.
Joe.
The Exorcist.
Nope.
TJ.
Brian.
TJ.
Halloween.
Nope.
The Conjuring.
No, it was It. 2017. And you're such a fan of it, TJ. Good for you.
Okay, well, I don't know numbers. I don't know math. You know that.
All right. Approximately. And this is going to go for... Actually, I'm going to do everybody. Whoever gets to close, this is the Price is Right rules. Okay. Approximately, how many kills does Jason Voorhees have in his historic run as a horror icon? I'm gonna do it by order of first name. So Brian.
88.
Joe.
124.
TJ.
58.
Joe gets the point. 146 kills across.
Wow, that was close.
All right. Next question.
I like to thank Blockbuster Video for that answer, renting the kill count VHS back in the day.
You cheated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he cheated for sure. He went to Blockbuster today. Ed Gein inspired what 3 horror movie classics?
Brian.
Brian.
I said my name first.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Silence of the Lambs. And oh crap! Now I forgot. I had all 3, and then I said 2. Give me just a second. Psycho.
That's a point. Ooh. All right, TJ in the lead with 0. All right. How many days? How about fuck it? Let's do. Everybody can
continue with that question. Don't stop.
No, I'm gonna do the same thing. Price is Right rules again, but this time Joe starts. How many days did it take to film the Blair Witch Project?
14.
Brian, TJ, sorry.
31.
Brian.
4.
Brian gets the point. It was 8 days.
Hi, Brian. I have the DVD extra features that has actually good
now.
documentary on it.
All right.
Hashtag physical media matters, guys.
So far,
So do I.
Brian with 2, Joe with 1, and the horror fanatic with 0. All right.
Alpha, baby.
This is for everybody. Scream your name. Who made his feature film debut first? Jason or Freddy?
Brian.
Joe.
Oh, come on. That was silly me.
Jason.
That's correct. 1981 versus 1984. I wanted to see if I could trip you with, since technically, spoiler, the mom is the killer in the first one.
Oh, dude. Oh, come on. Spoilers. Terrible.
Name the movie that has the following quote. We have such sights to show you.
Brian. Hellraiser.
That is correct.
That's a great question.
Name the movie with the following quote. We all get a little mad sometimes.
Brian.
Let's go.
Psycho.
That's correct. Bonus points if you can tell me another movie.
It has that quote?
TJ.
Brian.
TJ.
The Shining.
No.
Brian. Scream.
That is correct.
Everybody.
All right. Who was the father of Rosemary's Baby?
That movie sucked.
Yo.
TJ's just full of them today.
Satan. The devil.
Satan. That is correct.
Satan.
All right. This is for all the marbles. TJ, you're out.
Cool.
You have 0 points.
Worst. Beautiful.
Brian and Joe. What fan base of this movie has a lot of crossover with pumpkin spice lattes?
Joe. Hocus Pocus.
That is correct!
I hate this. Is stupid.
It could have been Nightmare Before Christmas too. It'd be totally viable.
That's debatable. So Joe, you have slasher, action horror, reptile horror, supernatural, or funny horror.
I'm gonna go kind of bullshit on it. I'm gonna go with slasher. I'd like expanding my world of slashers.
All right, so in the slasher category, you have the following options. You have Hatchet with 4 movies, Prom Night with 5 movies, or Wrong Turn with 7 movies.
7 Wrong Turn movies?
7 Wrong Turn movies.
Give me Hatchet all day.
That's the
guy. I've never seen 3 out of 4 pretty good, actually.
I've never seen Hatchet. They've always looked fun.
Yeah, though the first one is a blast. Brian, since you came in second with 4 points, and TJ came in 0 points. So you have the following options: action horror, reptile horror, supernatural, and funny horror.
Oh man, I want to go with supernatural because I'm hoping that Puppet Master's in there or the Prophecy, but then I'm so tempted. Reptile horror is just hanging out there. How do I not pick reptile horror? That seems like one that's going to cost me money because I'm going to have to go rent and buy a lot of things. Give me supernatural.
All right, supernatural. We have Insidious with 4 movies, Final Destination with 5 movies, and Phantasm with 5 movies.
I'm actually glad I did not pick that.
Oh man, that's a tough one. But I am 100% going Final Destination. That's like an all-time favorite for me. I love
Brian,
it.
you want me to send you my? You want me to send you my collection DVD?
No, I already have all the Blu-rays.
All right, TJ. since you came in
Wait,
dead
I got no points. Do you go before me?
No, I'm the host. I'm the gracious host. You have left action, reptile, or funny.
My heart says reptile, but I'm gonna do action.
Ooh. In action, we have Underworld with 5 movies, Resident
3 of those
Evil
are
with
pretty good.
Resident Evil with 6 movies, and Blade with 3 movies.
Blade's cheating. 3 movies is barely even enough to make it in here. That's the.
He
if you
said
do Blade,
3 or
you should
more.
do
That
like
was the
the
rules
TV
last.
series also.
In the last horror thing we did, he said 3 or more.
It's
So
been 3 or more. It's fair.
You gotta watch the series. Boo, boo.
I'm gonna watch. I'm not doing Blade. Blade's too easy. I'm not doing Blade.
We already did Blade as a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did
So
Blade
we have
too. and we talked a
Underworld.
lot
What's
of
the other
Blade.
one before after Underworld?
Resident Evil or Underworld?
Ooh. I want to do Underworld.
That's the correct point. That was the one that I wanted somebody pick.
I really thought TJ was going to choose Reptile because that is I've never had a category.
I know what
You
he
better
has
choose Reptile because I want to know what's in the category.
Fuck that.
All right, so I'm gonna pick Reptile, and the following movies are in it: is Anaconda with 5 movies, Lake Placid with 6 movies,
There's
and
6
Piranhas.
Wait, like
How many piranhas are there?
5.
Ooh.
There's
Including
6
the
Lake, I
remakes?
can't believe there's 6 Lake Placids. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lake Placid.
Oh my god.
Just because I know that the second to last movie of Lake Placid is Lake Placid versus Anaconda, so I'm double dipping.
Oh
shit.
Also, you get a little Betty White in your franchise. That don't hurt anybody.
And you
I
have
have
Brendan Gleeson also in our fucking
Brendan Gleeson, absolutely.
I have a question about the me watching the Hatchet movies.
Yeah.
Do I have to watch the TV movie Hatchet from the book by Gary Paulson that I watched when I was in middle school?
I mean,
you want to, man. If you want to be a completist.
Because that movie is called Hatchet, about a kid who survives a plane crash.
So
no.
the last.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Never heard of
I remember that book.
The one category that was not picked was funny horror with Leprechaun 8 movies, Scary Movie 5 movies, and The Return of the Living Dead with 5 movies.
I think you should have to separate Leprechauns into the ones with Warwick Davis and the ones without, because that's like 2 different franchises to me. If Warwick Davis ain't a Leprechaun movie, then it's not a real Leprechaun movie.
You watch all Hellraisers, even though it wasn't the guy from Hellraiser.
Yeah, I know, and I regret that now.
Your fault.
All right.
I think I'm gonna have to say we all picked the right choices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
We got a solid list this year.
So we have a month. Everybody's gonna watch their franchises. Hatchet for Joe, Final Destination for Brian, Underworld for TJ, and Lake Placid for me. How about we talk about the one?
Oh shit, that's right. We watched a movie this week, guys. So it was my pick. I wanted a little early 2000s flavor. I love to revisit a movie I haven't seen in a long time, and God help me, I had some fond memories of Jet Li's The One, and you know,
we should have left it in our memory.
It was short. Yeah, I'll give it that. You know, it was short. Let's real quick. Let me give a quick synopsis because it's got kind of a complicated plot for a movie that's barely 80 minutes. It's Jet Li is playing a character. They're in a reality. Basically, the reality of this movie is that there are multiple dimensions. There's like parallel multiverse, and there's a different version of you in every. And usually, what it consists mostly of is like you in a bad wig that you found backstage at an improv, and you just like slap on in front of a green screen, and then they put up like a surfboard or something, and then that's different you, and you have a variation of your name, like the root word is the same, but it's like it would be TJ.
I know you're shitting on it, but I would have paid top dollar to watch blonde Jet Li movie, just like the blonde.
Fuck that, Rasta Jet Li or nothing. Come on, that's dumb. Don't even pretend. Don't even pretend that Rasta Jet Li wasn't the best one. That's silly.
God.
But anyway, so one Jet Li figured out basically that if you kill yourself in a former, we find out, spoiler alert, that he used to be this like a multiverse cop with Jason Statham and Delroy Lindo, and he accidentally had to kill his like a version of himself, and it made him stronger. So he realized if he went to every dimension and killed a version of himself, he would become the one, and he would have, some people say explode or implode. What's the third one? Become a god. So Jet Li kicks and CGI and limited English throughout the movie, and then in the end he has a fight with himself, and that's about it, right? I mean, is there anything?
Oh, Jason Statham has hair. I don't know if you want
that was the biggest.
I still, even though I know he has had hair before, and I know that hair is in his normal hair pattern, I still think that's a wig.
You think that's a wig?
It was very
I think it's with bald cap wig. Like it's weird. It's a weird length.
Makes
no
sense.
I know it doesn't make sense, and I know it looks like his regular hairline, but I'm telling you, my wig radar is going on.
It looked like a very hairy kiwi.
He had hair like that. They'd shave it off. They're like, you're bald. Delroy's bald. You know what we do? Let's give you a little bit of just a little topper on top.
It's a weird length. It's not right. It's like somebody. It's like a little kid who had a buzz cut at the beginning of the summer, and it's like the week before school, and you haven't taken him to the fucking the barber yet to get it cleaned up.
Let's pause the movie for a minute. We'll add on this hair thing. Let's say this movie starts. Obviously, we start with this whole thing where the one Jet Li is chasing down his other multiverse versions of him. That is a prisoner. They're all prisoners at this point, which you lead up to another point in the movie. And Jet Li hides in a fucking like a golden eye, fucking like.
It's weird that in a movie where the CGI, the early 2000s
sitting up in that thingy.
Bad. It's weird that they so obviously had like 3 sets to use, and they were like, "Okay, this has like a TV budget. It's like 2 episodes of Sliders cut together."
It was so sad. Honestly, it was so sad to watch this movie because I was so fucking pumped when you mentioned the one because
I remember
it lived in my head as a fantastic movie when I saw it as a kid.
Me too. We were all excited.
We were all excited. I was gonna say. What if this movie? So the one part I was gonna say was when they finally all meet up. It's like Statham, Delroy, and Jet Li in that like garage parking in the driveway thing, and
God, yes.
As their faces all start deteriorating to go through time. What if it was a comedy and they all just switched body parts? Like Statham landed down, he had Delroy's penis, and Delroy had Jet Li's penis.
Trying to do a Delroy Lindo impression. He's got Delroy Lindo in his body and shit.
Changed faces and body parts, but one had a black hand, an Asian hand, and a black penis. And you're like, oh, that's funny. And you're like, okay.
So this just movie... an Asian hand. What's just really small or something?
It's all about the penis. White, a black, and an Asian penis.
So you're talking
about...
And
the biggest one is Jet Li's. He's like,
yes.
Oh. Why is Jet Li
on
this bitch? Let's do
it. So, although you're talking about how cheap this movie was, I realized this because I did the most amount of work I think I've ever done to try to figure something out for Flyover. I remember the movie. I remember the trailer of this movie. I remember being on a VHS somewhere, right? One of those always they played and you never saw it. Turns out that was a fake memory because Columbia never put it on. This was a movie from Columbia. Never put it on any of their VHS intros because I went through YouTube about every movie from 2001 to 2002 that, when they would have said coming to DVD or coming to, the one was not on one of them at least.
To be honest, I got, Yusuf said we all got real excited about this. To be honest, when Brian said the movie, I went, yeah, the Bob Hoskins one where fucking Jet Li wears the fucking collar on his fucking neck.
That's Unleashed.
Oh, that's a Rage or Cage.
And I went,
Unleashed.
Unleashed.
After I looked it up, I went, oh, it's where Jet Li is playing
Bulletproof
Jet Li versus Jet Li. I'd rather watch him do it before.
I know.
How many 2-for-1 plans did the one execute? Because he kills the prisoner and then he does the same plan, but for the guard. So I'm assuming that there were multiple 2-for-1 deals
like some
in
like
execution.
different worlds that kind of lined up. Well, we know that like there's a Carla Gugino. He's got an evil Carla Gugino with him, and then at the end we know that good guy Jet Li also finds another Carla Gugino, and like the circumstances are almost identical. So you got to imagine if you could like, there's got to be a few more that line up like that, right?
So also, Jet Li's name, Gabriel. There's in the whole like Bible, like allegory type of fucking thing. There's like there's Michael, there's Gabriel. You're like, God damn it, I get it. But Matrix is the biggest influence in this fucking film.
This movie is like if Matrix and Time Cop had a baby.
Yeah.
Like if there's so many Time Cop vibes in this movie. It's something about the weird police force that only exists to like stop people from using something like
Demolition Man, Equilibrium.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
keep going.
Demolition Man, Time Cop, and the one all definitely get wrapped up together.
My question is about the movie itself, though, is it was really, I don't know if anyone caught on to this. Did they dub over Jet Li?
Yep.
No. Yeah, this is pretty early in his career, so he's definitely got some dubbing going on.
I feel like movies are made. Like I think these movies are made originally to like be released overseas, and then they redub the American version of their original vocals over their like lines, so it doesn't match up. Which seems
most times, the most times he talks, his mouth is like a lot of times is hidden or like cut in a weird way where it's through a fence.
We also saw
when he's peeking out of. You talking about when he's peeking out of the attic? He looks like Pennywise.
But also, Brian is watching Final Destination, and the first movie this James Wong did was Final Destination.
Yeah. Well, also, I saw something
and he
about
did Dragon Ball Z.
The guy who I think wrote this was also like a big writer on the X-Files, and one of the creative. So you could 100% see this script starting as an X-Files episode, and then like later kind of like evolving into a movie, and then like adding in the martial arts element, because that's what I was thinking. The real waste of this movie is that you've got Jet Li, and almost all the time he does martial arts, there's some kind of special effect fucking it up.
Yeah,
like they're either doing
like
bullet time, or they're having him run up a wall weird or run fast, or he's fighting himself, so there's weird camera tricks. It's like there's never some actual good use of Jet Li in this.
Well, you got to realize also the because like I said, I watched all those scrub through all those trailer VHS things.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel that has them all uploaded. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was a Paramount.
This has this
Paramount release. Was this before or after Romeo Must Die? Because that had a lot of like wire work and special effects stuff too.
This was a year after, because I always relate Jet Li to Lethal Weapon 4, because as a
that's
kid,
his first big American movie. As
a kid, I saw Lethal Weapon 4,
and he's such a badass in that movie.
Oh yeah, he's really good. Honestly, though, I think if we're being honest, the best Jet Li movie from that era is Kiss of the Dragon. I think if you had to pick
that Fight in the Fire.
Yeah,
Cradle to
one
the Grave.
when he fights
I'm with Joe on this one. Cradle to the Grave.
Dude,
anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the one. There's some things that I had to bring up. First of all, the hospital is the hospital from Scrubs.
Really?
It's Sacred Farm. Yep. I noticed it when they were coming out that ramp and stuff. It's so so memorable to me. They're at the hospital. Also, the MRI. I'm sure TJ, you recognize the lady running the MRI as BB Glazer from Frasier. Yep, Frasier's agent.
My whole thing too is like, so over these years, every time. How many multiverses did they say there are?
Well, I think there's 125, right? Because if he's killed 123, there's 2 left.
Every time he kills one of his beings himself in the multiverse, him and the other ones gain power.
Right.
It's weird how they waited. Like, I think this would have been a great series if you could just like pick that up after he does like the first 5 and like the last 115 are like, why do I feel like I could pick up a house right now? You're like,
right. Then you have every episode he's going to a different.
And then you had Carla. Oh my God, she is She's fucking gorgeous. Like,
how about the exploding mouse that she like brings to?
When she's the redhead,
when she has that whole moment where she's like, she would tell anybody that like, in your age, you're gaining strength. You're not gaining like so and so because he realized he's gaining like all the shit that
she's
the
like
good
a vet
or
something. So,
yeah. I'm like, how long did it take before all those Jet Lis figured out they're gaining some type of power? Like, that's my whole thing. Is like, it took
his mind was also working faster. Like he was getting smarter, processing information differently or whatever.
But it's diminished. Because even though there's only 2, they're not. I'm fucking defending this movie for some fucking reason. I don't know why. They said that he's almost as powerful as him. So the one killing is receiving most of the power.
Oh, so the one
because like he's in their presence when they die, so he absorbs a little more. I mean, remember he does that little dance after he kills the first one. He's all like, ah.
And also, are all of them prisoners minus that one who?
No, only the one was a prisoner, and then the one was a guard. But remember, there was a surfer and a Rastafarian.
All right, relax. Everyone got real mad at
that
question. I don't like the question. I don't appreciate it.
I hate that every time that I have to go to the airport or get an MRI, I have to disclose my penis implant. It's so inconvenient.
Yeah. They were like, have you had a penis implant? I was like, oh, I think you're going to get those anymore. But I'm going to
try. But did you guys... Oh, sorry. Before I say what I want to say, Dean Norris is in this movie. Good for him.
Hell yeah, he is.
If you didn't know this movie was from the 2000s, you would have picked up immediately as soon as Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
I was hoping like 6 different times. If we didn't get around to talking about the new metal soundtrack, I was gonna get mad.
Guys, the soundtrack whips ass. It's so good.
When the rat is gonna explode, they drop down with the sickness.
Yes, that's the best part.
And I was like, what the
fuck? That's the best part.
No, the best one is Papa Roach at the very end.
Yes.
He's King of the Mountain. The bad Jet Li gets sent to the prison planet, and he's standing on top of that pyramid, kicking people's ass again, and they kick in with the Papa Roach. I was like, ooh.
Well, so I have a two-parter about this. When the Bodies at the Floor played, I was like, this is gonna be fucking sweet. Also, who did it better? The Jason X trailer with Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, or this movie with Let the Bodies Hit the Floor?
I actually legitimately love Jason X. It's a lot of fun, but I think this movie is better I like Let the Bodies Hit the Floor is better.
But also that ending of them on that hill with the Papa Roach reminded me so much of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah.
Not the good one. Annihilation.
No. Well, not the least bad. Also, this is like... I have a couple of things about the ending, but I want to specifically first say, like, that's probably like the worst plan ever, right? Because you don't know what's gonna happen if one of them dies. Yet they're throwing him to the wolves in a random... Like, there's no security guards.
Like, you just assume he's gonna survive, but like your whole plan was to keep him alive. Honestly, you would want to seal his ass up in solitary confinement somewhere.
So if he dies, then the whole multi-universe goes with him. But he's gonna be fine.
It's like Superman, where they put him in the what's that realm they put him in?
The Phantom Zone.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
I think the Phantom Zone's more like you're not even like... It's you're like you're trapped in like an ethereal plane. You don't fight dudes on a pyramid in the Phantom Zone.
Well, I think the question of this movie is like, where is the Netflix original series to follow up with the one?
Like Cobra Kai?
Well, unfortunately, we'd have to find somebody else to star in it. Jet Li is not Jet Li like that anymore.
Better martial artist. Jackie Chan. Okay, Jet Li.
Jackie Chan.
William Zabka.
Jackie Chan.
You can't put those dudes in with real martial artists.
No.
And honestly, Jet Li's are better martial artist. Jackie Chan's probably a better dancer and gymnast.
He's a stunt guy.
No, bro. I think he would fight legit with especially early Jackie Chan.
I'll tell
Has
you
Jackie
who,
Chan
I'll
and
tell you
Jet
who
Li
was
ever
the
done a
top of the
movie
heap
together?
though. It's Donnie Yen, baby.
I think they did one. To be honest, I think they did one together.
Have they ever? Yeah, it's a genuine question.
Because I don't know. I think Jet Li is more of a bruiser, more of a like a power martial
guy.
artist.
Yeah, Jack Chan's more finesse. Yeah.
Jackie Chan's all about technique and everything looks really good and everything, but I think if it came down to like actual like who is the
I
better,
feel this movie would have been better with Jackie Chan actually.
Yeah. Okay. How about this?
yeah,
People,
well
if
because
we
Jackie
ever
Chan
did a
could play more
fire-
of a range because
Yeah.
even the good
Well,
guy
fun
Jet
fact,
Li, it
fun
seems
fact,
like
you know who this movie
cold
was
and
for?
kind of a dick, you know?
Yeah.
Fun fact, you know who this movie was for? The Rock.
Ooh.
The Rock.
It was literally titled The Rock Movie.
What if you did a whole bunch of movies with The Rock, right? But he had different, like him over the years. He was different sizes. Like it's Giant Rock, Little Rock, Baby Rock, Mid Rock.
Rock
Soft,
downhill.
like
Yeah.
early WWE soft Rock where he was like in good
Limestone
shape, but like
Rock.
he still had that Samoan like kind of
Yeah.
softness to him.
Before he started doing horse meat injected
Well,
into his
he actually
ass
legit. The Rock had like some liposuction. That's why in
on
like
his tits.
the late '90s, he
Yep.
wore a shirt a lot. He was always
Yep.
like the people's champ. He's wearing those fancy shirts because he'd had some liposuction and shit. And he was waiting for the scars to heal because he's Samoan. He has had. There's no way he was gonna get rid of that fat naturally. He was always gonna have that. He had to get that taken off so he could look shredded.
I've seen Moana.
Dude, the ending of this movie drove me crazy because Jason Statham and the two Lees fall into like the Star Wars ripoff army base where like the dude
They're
is
just
dressed
in like a factory. It's just like your Terminator ending. They're in some kind of factory. Like I said, that was the third of 3 sets they had. They had
Yeah.
they had the prison set where Jet Li attacks everybody twice. They had the hospital set, and then they had this factory. Those were like the 3, and everything else was like a sitcom backdrop. Like the house was a sitcom backdrop. The shitty like prison was just a cement room with a chair in it.
But then the two Jet Lis are like in the ground, and this like head guy comes in, and Jet Li goes, "It's him," and the dude's like questions asked, like, "Oh, fuck him up, go get him."
Yeah, they don't do like a test or anything.
No, nothing. Like, "Oh, I trust your word," and then he follow ups that dumbass decision with Jason Statham vocally is against taking him out. And he's like, "No, I know the coordinates. I know where to take him." And they're like, "Okay, cool. I trust you. You're good." Go ahead.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
See, I thought you were talking about the ending, and I thought we were finally going to talk about how this whole movie, like the whole plot of this, where like the two Jet Lis are confused for each other, and everybody thinks regular Jet Li is bad Jet Li, and he killed his wife. Could have been if Jet Li would have just changed his fucking clothes, like. Why he was totally stripped down. He was wearing like his regular cop outfit. He had his green coat. He strips down to get an MRI. When he comes out after the guy that he's seen that looks just like him, he decides to put on an outfit that also looks just like the guy.
Exactly like him.
And then, like, the rest of the movie, every problem he encounters is because he looks just like the dude because he decided to put on the same outfit.
Brian,
like, you could have at least not worn the same outfit. That might have been a starter.
I think what you're saying is it's a flawed film.
No, I don't want to go that.
It's perfect. Especially the part where they're, like, discussing the multi-universe or the multiverse, what Marvel clearly saw from this movie. And Satan is like, "Oh, in one universe, you're married to this
paper,
woman."
and he acts like he does some kind of demonstration with it, but he doesn't do anything with that paper.
But I found it hilarious that he goes, "And in other, you're married to a guy," and Jet Li's like, "Hey,
no homo, bro."
Oh, this movie, it's not only homophobic, it was transphobic too.
Oh yeah, well the coroners,
Yeah.
and one of the coroner who makes the transphobic joke is the writer dude who like was from the X-Files, the guy I was talking about earlier.
Oh,
that's why that scene feels so out of place because those two guys are like behind the scenes guys, and it's obviously like a weird comedy scene they wrote for themselves or something.
Yeah, it seemed out of place. Not to the joke itself; it was just like
the joke is just. I mean, honestly, transphobic jokes. It's weird once you start noticing them how common they are.
Oh, yeah,
I was like. I'll be watching something. I'll be like, oh my god, there's so much unnecessary. Like, oh, don't accidentally sleep with a dude, bro. What if a girl looks like a dude? Oh my god, it's like, oh man, I never really paid attention to how fucking much people care about this.
The classic transphobic or homophobic joke was that somebody got drunk and they made out with a guy girl.
Right. Oh, that was actually
like
a guy. Oh,
that's
what?
the joke that everybody holds over their heads like every single time.
Yeah, and it's in like 90% of movies.
Yeah.
So many.
There are a couple little things I wanted to talk about, just real quick.
Get down with the sickness.
Are Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham also enhanced in some way? Because like Delroy Lindo gets into a fucking karate fight with evil Jet Li, who is supposed to have the power of 123 Jet Lis.
Same exact thing on this one. Yeah.
And they fight. Like,
and they do the whole thing where he's like, oh, there's two guys that come over the bushes and shoot him. They're like, we were late on this. Like, those guys have
that means Jason Statham and Delroy Lindo got up the wall or something,
yeah.
right? Like,
anticipating them, yeah.
Also, you guys remember the movie War with Jet Li and Jason Statham and how disappointing that was?
Yes, I do. 2008.
That was a big disappointment. What a bummer, right? Like, that should have been much better.
Yeah, because that was at the time when it was like...
He really established himself as a action martial artist. And you were like, oh, okay, we got abs versus Lee.
Right, that's why it's weird now to watch the one and not see Jason Statham do any kicking. You're like, why isn't this guy doing any kicking?
He has hair.
Well, Brian, the one was very like a precursor to like Keanu Reeves is like Ronin, I feel like, where you were like, I'm ready for this movie to kick ass. Oh. Sorry, that's what the war always reminds me of. Because I remember
I think 47 Ronin might make an appearance on this show, because I think that's a movie that needs reevaluated.
I feel it's okay. Let's go into the ratings phase.
No, wait. I had one more thing I have to say about this movie. I love Carla Gugino. TK is a terrible name, and they also have the cops say it like every 30 seconds. TK, we're gonna take you home. TK, are you okay? TK, TK.
Oh, dude,
hey,
TK. Do a word search
TJ
for her name and the one.
Name. You had to hate this shit, right?
No, I loved it. I loved it. I thought they were calling me every time. I was like, hey.
Like, huh? Just constantly confused during the movie. Like, what? Did that guy call? Is that guy talking to me?
It's so tight.
Am I the one? Yeah. Let's go into the ratings phase. Joe, what did you think about this movie?
Wait, I never asked. Was this something we had all seen before? Was this one of those times we all were familiar with the movie?
No, I had only seen the trailer.
So Joe did come in fresh. Okay. I feel like Joe didn't talk enough. So before you give us your ratings, Joe, talk a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more as a person who came in.
Talked enough.
No, man. My life.
I want our runtime to be longer than the movie, so we got to keep going.
All right. Well,
break the set.
I want our runtime to go longer than the one, so we got to come on.
Well, we beat it already. No, I actually I don't need to talk more about it. I kind of said what I had to say. I didn't have many strong. I thought the soundtrack was really fun. I thought like it just screamed 2001. It stylistically
of its era movie.
Stylistically, soundtrack, music, not music. It's soundtrack.
Not only,
soundtrack,
keep hitting on this, but not only did they double down on the new metal soundtrack, they were like, yes, this is a type of music that's going to be around for a long time. They also they go so far as to have the Jet Li find it on the radio and then be like, yes, and dance a little bit.
And then he's like, I don't. But then he's like, I finally found something I like, and he fucked it up. So either way, that's the big part of it. But at the same time, plotting wise, right off the Matrix being the one, the chosen one, that was a very big motif in that era because of the Matrix.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings are all out around this time. They're all the one narrative, basically.
So I don't think it's a good movie. I want to say this straight up front.
No.
I don't think it's a good movie. I did have fun with it. I did have fun with it, and I want to give it a 4.7.
TJ, as somebody who thought they were going to watch a different movie, let's get you next.
I just want to say, I think this is a movie 4.7. A little to give a thing, little strobe light things on the end of guns because all the silencers had like strobe lights.
Yeah, the little targeting thing they had.
Yeah. 4.7.
And they always missed.
I think if someone put it on, I'd want to have a beer with you to watch it.
Remember when Jet Li blocks a bullet with a gun? Like, a gun's not bulletproof, right? That's not how that works.
I want to say, in my ratings phase, this is one of the best Jack Chan movies I've ever seen. It's so fucking good. This guy, like, I don't know, when he does things, he just stands out. So I'm definitely going to give this a clean 4.5 Evanescence soundtrack. You know what I mean? Wake me up inside, wake me up. That's
the only band that this one was missing.
Yep, and that's why I'm very upset. It would have got a 5 if you would have added just one of the songs in Evanescence. Yes, to that really hurt this album. I'll tell you what. Down Sickness, Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder really Snyder cut. You know what I mean? The one Snyder cut.
All right, so we had somebody who hadn't seen it, somebody who thought they were watching a different movie, and so now let's go to Yusef, somebody who thought they were excited to rewatch this.
Yeah, this was painful. The CGI is painful. The acting is painful. Jet Li running supposedly fast is painful.
That was so bad. The slow motion in this, God.
Yeah, the bullet time, man. God, we were so in love with bullet time after the Matrix. So annoying.
I gotta defend that. I like our first intro when the body's at the floor with the bullet time. That's a fun scene.
The first time you see him do the thing where he like hits the guy up in the air and he moves all quick while the guy's still floating and he hits another guy. It's all right the first time. It's not terrible.
I disagree. Everything was terrible. This movie was very painful. I wish that I had left it in my childhood brain where it was one of the most awesome martial arts movies that I watched. I don't know if I think I mentioned this like when we were talking about like things that you wish came back, and like Jet Li and Jackie Chan type movies was one of the things that I mentioned. So this was a blow, but I'll give it 3.5 penis enlargement installment implants out of 10. Brian, you were the one that picked it, and you had the same.
I was. I mean, I went in. There was a reason. I was equally excited. I was just like Yusef, and I don't even have the excuse that I was a child. I was like 19 when this movie came out.
Yikes.
And I think, like I said, like the thing that really bummed me out the most was like the wasted Jet Li of it all, where I'm like, you have Jet Li, but you're every time he could be doing something cool, you're adding some effect, some crappy cheap effect, and then all the budget of the movie went to those effects, and then the rest of the movie looks so cheap. It looks like it's on the set of a fucking like a soap opera, and everything is just like. But it's 80 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like
clean.
breezy.
It's clean.
It's so breezy. Like you can put it on and it never stops moving. It gets to its point very quickly. And it is a fun, interesting premise. I gotta give it that. I still like the multiverse thing. I like the idea of it. I like that whole vibe. So because of those caveats, I'm gonna get it all the way up to a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 lampposts falling over. 5.
I feel like
5. Jason Statham giving a weird eulogy to a different Delroy Lindos.
I feel like they did a thing where they tried to like piggyback on what you're saying with Jet Li, where they also tried to make Jet Li like good old American boy.
Right.
Instead of just playing into who Jet Li is.
Although when they showed his wedding photo with Carla Gugino, they clearly like went back to Japan because she was all Japanned up.
Yeah, I know.
She was all culturally appropriated.
Anyway, so
I mean, they spoke in their native in his native language.
That's true.
But if you are watching this, if you've never seen a Jet Li movie, Fearless, Black Mask, Cradle to the Grave,
Fist of Legend, Once Upon a Time in China,
Unleashed,
Kiss of the Dragon.
Kiss of the Dragon. There's so many good options out there.
All right.
But none of those will. I'm probably guessing none of those are gonna be Joe's next pick.
No.
Go. What are you gonna make us watch?
So I do have a question, and this is running long. Do you guys want me to pick? I have 3 picks. Do you guys want me to pick a October fun pick, a bad October fun pick, or a genuinely good movie that I think we all should revisit?
Let me answer this before anyone else does. Hey Joe,
we want to take a breather.
Sorry, I have
first,
a fucking
non-Halloween thing, or
you just got married. Pick whatever the fuck you want, my guy.
Yeah, man, you're done getting to make choices by yourself. This is your opportunity now.
Make a choice, dude.
All right, I have 3 horror-ish movies I want to pick. I'm gonna go with my original choice. I think we all need to revisit The Sixth Sense.
Ooh, okay.
With M. Night kind of making waves again.
That movie fucked me up as a kid.
I
Holds up.
probably haven't seen The Sixth Sense in 10 years myself, or maybe
I saw
longer.
It's weird. The Final Destinations and Sixth Sense are both on my list to watch with Harrison. They've made our we're doing 31 days of October type deal, and both of those we watched the first 2 Final Destinations, so the last 3 made it to the list. And Sixth Sense made it to the list. But don't worry, I know the rules. I'll be doing a full rewatch of the whole franchise. Count on me.
You know what, Brian? I will tell you this. I did the Final Destination rewatch 2 years ago. It was so much fun.
Oh, I've seen it pretty recently. I know what I'm getting to. I'm very excited.
All right.
By the way,
Yo.
You could find me just right now Amazoning all 3 Hatchet movies on Blu-ray.
4. There's 4.
Well, the 4th one's on Amazon Prime, so I did not spend $22.
Nice.
But the others are $10 or less on Blu-ray, so I just purchased all of them instead of renting them. And you find me at Shindig on 1, probably just being a sad sports fan, and hopefully talking about movies because it's more fun.
DJ.
You guys are on Flyover State of Film YouTube right now. Check out episode 57 and 56. Next we got coming up is the bracket discussing our worst movies we've ever picked on this goddamn podcast. Also, we have a nice flyby come by with me and Yusef doing Karate Kid and Lost Boys because we are movers. Other than that, you guys can find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. I'll be watching fucking Kate Beckinsale do her thing as a vampire, and I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, Brian.
Oh, yeah, you can find me at Hercules on Twitter. Catch me promoting #Fat Bear Week. Katmai National Park, baby. They got fat bears out there, and I am loving it. I cannot lie. I'm vibing on these fat bears. They're living their best lives, and I'm happy for them.
All right, wildlovemovies.com. Bye.
Bye.